been a Fulbright scholar in the early 60s to Taiwan before we recognized the People's Republic of China. And he was a PhD in history and was Dean of Arts and Sciences at Delta State later. So he was actually, he had a whole career at Delta State, and I've just come back in the last year, year and a half. So he was the real academic in the family and was Arts and Science Dean for years. And so this was a special fellowship that he won and studied at Stanford and at Southern Cal at USC for a year, split the time, and just a great experience. And he became a real formidable scholar in Chinese and Chinese history.
Chinese history.
Right. Knew a lot about it. Those were important days for the transition of China.
Mine's public history. My PhD's in public history.
Wonderful.
Yeah, focusing on the Delta.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Stand by for open.
Oh, I didn't see. Can I see? I need a mirror. You know, I gotta check myself. Make sure I'm not shining too much. Okay. Welcome to Delta Renaissance. I'm your host, C.Sade Turnipseed, and on today's show, I'm truly honored to have with me as my guest the president of Delta State University, Mr. Bill LaForge. Welcome to the studio today.
Thank you, Sade. I appreciate
I'm happy
it.
you could be here.
My pleasure.
So now, it's not a new position for you. I think you've been in office now for a little over a year or so?
15 months. 15
months. But tell us how it's going for you so far.
It's been exciting. It's been a great year and a quarter, a fast learning curve. We've made significant progress. I had a lot of cabinet members to hire. We had searchers to bring in our leadership team. They're all in place now and we're up and running. We survived an evaluation by our accreditation organization so that we'll be accredited again. It's been a great year. Wonderful colleagues at Delta State. It's a great place to work, great place to come to school.
You know, I was reading a little bit about you and your statement to the world and your presidential message. And you referenced that the university was a university of champions. Let's start there. I really want to hear, you know, what makes Delta State so special? We
are distinctly a regional university, Sade, but we have champions in our classrooms. Our faculty are excellent. And our first mission is our classroom instruction mission, to teach our students, to bring them there and work with them from the day they step foot on campus to their point of graduation. That's really what our mission is. We are a champion in the classroom, and our people are like that across the board. Delta State is a family. It's a very special place. We're a regional university, not a comprehensive research university. And then on the athletic field and on the court and the course, athletically, we are, most people don't know, the winningest and greatest university in the state in terms of national championships. We've won 6 collegiate women's basketball tournament championships over our many years. We have football championships, baseball championships. Just this past year, both of our basketball teams went to the postseason. Our men went to the Sweet 16. Our golf team came in 16th in the nation and went to the nationals for the first time since 2005. We have the only swim dive team in the state, and we sent 15 of our students to the nationals this year. Just an incredible array. And our football team is superb. 7-3 last year on the heels of a year before 3-7 season. So we're very proud of our history of athletics at Delta State. Academics is first, but our athletic programs are exciting. We're in Division II, but it's an exciting level of play because we're upper level Division II, and people know we're always fighting for championships.
Yeah, congratulations. You're right. I knew nothing of that.
It's amazing.
We got to do more PR on Delta State and the things that it's doing.
You bet.
You know, especially here in the Delta, so we can all brag about it. But talk to me too about some of the new projects that are going on, because you got a lot of very exciting initiatives that are underway.
You know, all universities have to offer basic general education courses, and so those are there. But we try to distinguish ourselves, and we have unique programs, including our commercial aviation program, our Delta Music Institute, a wonderful nursing program that is just on fire right now. We have a social work program that is really, really out of sight. We have programs in geospatial technology, very unique, mapping, defense mapping.
Geospatial technology,
Very
with,
unique.
working with satellites.
Right, satellite technology to do imaging.
And mapping.
That's
and
right,
that sort of
and
thing.
we have a really wonderful program doing that. And we have programs in arts and graphics and design. For our university and a regional concept like this, we do quite well in having some unique programs that we're able to, and of course we're a teacher education college. That's the premise on which we were founded in the 1920s. We produce a lot of teachers, and superintendents and principals around the state love to get Delta State products because we are in the business of teacher education. But we deliver our academic power through a College of Arts and Sciences, a College of Business, a College of Education and Human Science, and our nursing school. So we're limited. We're rifle shotting what we do, and our students are all in one of those categories.
How many students do you have currently?
We're right at just under 3,600, but we're looking at, we hope, an enrollment increase this fall.
Yeah. So also what's underway is the big, huge deal with the Grammy Museum.
Yes.
Let's talk about that, because that is exciting.
That's right.
I mean, outside of California, there is no other place like
That's
the
it.
Grammy Museum that exists in the country. So how was Delta State selected, and how did you take them on as a partner?
Well, it all happened, most of it happened before I got here, frankly. But the genesis is basically this. It's really lodged in the history and the heritage of music in Mississippi. The saying goes, there would be no music in America without Mississippi.
No, that's true.
Because there's so many of the genre of music are there, blues and jazz and folk and country and
All coming out of the
sorts.
cotton fields,
Gospel,
right?
a lot of it there, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And so when the decision was made to expand from Los Angeles, from LA Live, where the Grammy Museum mothership is, Cleveland was selected. And Cleveland and Delta State, because of our close partnership, were seen as the perfect storm for that. And there were other cities who wanted it around the state and the South, but Delta State and Cleveland prevailed. And we have a wonderful team effort going to build this. It's underway now and should be opening probably next August, a year from now.
I think most folks know, and if they don't, they should. Mississippi has the most Grammy
winners.
Nominated and winners.
Per capita, that's exactly
Per
right.
capita in the country.
That's right.
That's huge.
We still do.
That may have a big a reason why they chose Mississippi too.
Absolutely, and we're expecting some of them to come back from time to time and perform on our campus. It's going to transform the Delta. And the Grammy Museum and the other things we're doing on campus, which I'll be happy to speak with you and your viewers about, really will transform the Delta in many ways. It'll connect the dots between Greenville, Greenwood, Indianola with the B.B. King Museum, Clarksdale, and other blues activities, festivals, and museums. We're going to be the academic center, and with the Grammys there, it's the perfect combination.
So with the Grammy Museum in partnership, is that also the main reason why you're doing this blues conference?
It's one reason. It's a major reason. It'll be a great combination. Our blues project is an international Delta blues project. We are staking out our position as the rightful academic center of the blues in the world.
Yeah.
Reason being, we're in the Delta. This is our place, and most of the bluesmen came from this contiguous area.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a conference this fall. It's an academic conference, the first one ever. We'll have one every year. We're going to develop a curriculum at Delta State, starting with a minor and later majors and maybe graduate work, so that if scholars want to come and study the blues, Delta State will be the place.
That's impressive. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to dive deep into that, because I think that's just phenomenal stuff, and I'm proud of you for that. So
Thank you.
Let's take a break and come on back to Delta Renaissance. Okay. We got a whole lot of headroom on that. I didn't even see that camera. That two-shot? Yeah, it is. It looks like we're way off in the distance somewhere.
We had there's a couple other things that you may want to focus on. We had a very successful race relations conference this past spring.
I was there.
You came to it, okay, winning the race. And it was
Okay,
out of
let's
sight
talk
with
about
John
that.
Dittmer.
I loved him.
William Winter came.
He sent me a copy of his paper.
Oh, did he? Wow.
Yeah.
Benny Thompson,
Yeah.
our congressman, and we won a national award for that, Sade.
You did?
The National Civil Rights Conference presented us, and I was honored to be able to accept it for Delta State. It's a Medal of Honor for the work that we did on that conference. And I picked this up in Philadelphia at the celebration back in June of the commemoration of the civil rights activity over in Neshoba County when the 3 civil rights workers were killed. We had a big event. John Lewis was there. Many of the civil rights workers were there. And they presented us a medal for our work on the conference this spring.
Congratulations.
We were just
That was the
thrilled.
first ever.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
I congratulated you
did. You sure
on the
remember that now.
occasion.
Yes.
I said, this is so good. I'm proud of you.
And we were just so
Yeah.
excited about next year.
We're going to do it
Oh,
again.
every year.
Okay.
Every year, yeah.
We're going to get into that
Good.
too. But we'll save that for the third segment,
Sure.
and then we'll
Okay.
get back into the Delta Blues Conference and stuff.
DMI.
Okay. I'm ready. Welcome back. I'm in the studio today talking with the president of Delta State University, Mr. Bill LaForge. And, again, every time I see you, I keep saying that I'm so proud of you and proud of your work. And I'm just happy that we're having this conversation for the first time.
Thank you.
In depth, because the work that you're doing, I mean, as mentioned before the break, a international blues conference. And I don't know if it's the first in the world, but it is the first in the Delta.
First here, and there's nothing like it that we know of anywhere else. And we're starting out somewhat modestly, but it is oversubscribed already. We have scholars from Europe, from California, all over the country coming to read papers. It's a little bit nerdy because it's a scholarly endeavor, but there will be a performance aspect each day and each night. And our Delta Music Institute is very much a partner of this, and will be performing as well. Some of our students who are part of that program.
So which department is heading this up, or who's
It's a special task force on campus. I have 2 professors who are heading it up, Shelley Collins from our music department and Donnell and Mitchell from language and literature. And they are just doing a wonderful job organizing this conference. But it has the blessings of the campus. It is a huge event for us. This is going to be our first one, and we were already expecting 500 people.
That is good.
Yeah.
My mind's spinning in all kinds of directions on where that
Sure.
could and should go. And again, I'm proud of you for that,
Thank
because for it to be the first university or campus or college environment to offer this, it does give credibility not only to your university but to the culture.
Yes.
And to the people who deserve it.
That's right. Absolutely.
This is a scholarship. It is something that is so very important to this
Right.
community, and for it to be embraced and recognized on a scholarly level, it's just, I think it needs to be
Right.
applauded, and thank you for that.
You bet. And we will have authentic bluesmen there. This
Of
has to
course,
have
yes.
authenticity,
Yes,
and we will make
yes.
sure that's there. You bet.
Yes, because it has to be authentic, and that's
Has
what
to
I'm
be,
saying.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, again, so now the Grammy Museum, the International Blues Conference, and you're also building curriculum around the culture
Yes.
of the Delta.
Right.
Now, what's involved in that?
There are really 2 major aspects. The first is in connection with the conference and our blues project. We are developing a curriculum that will lead to a minor in blues studies and eventually a major. So we are really focusing on the academic side of that, so that someday when you and I are retired on our porches somewhere around the country, 5, 10 years from now, whenever it is, when anyone in the world wants to come study the blues, it will be at Delta State. We will be the mecca for the blues academically. The other delivery system that we have is in place, and it's the Delta Center for Culture and Learning. It's been in place for several years. That's Luther Brown has
Dr.
run that
Brown,
for many,
yes,
many years.
yes.
He developed it. He gets a lot of the credit for all of this, and he's just retired. We've lost him. He comes back for events, and we're going to keep him. We have a new person coming in next month.
Who is the new person?
Yolanda Hertz. He's Rolando Hertz. He's a professor who has done some of his studies in Mississippi, some of his studies in New Jersey, And he is a tremendous scholar in this area, and we are very excited to bring him in.
So he will also be working with the academic side of the blues.
He will be the
as well,
center director, and under him will be a blues project director.
Okay.
And we will have an entire project team working on just the blues conference, because the Delta Center has other things they do. They're trying to tie the cultural and educational components of the Delta together to celebrate our culture here in the Delta. We have a lot of visitors from all over the country and all over the world, particularly Europeans and Far Easterners who come here and want to see what the Delta is really like. And the Delta Center has been very much a part of that. Delta Center also manages a very unique program called the Mississippi Delta Heritage National Area.
Heritage, yeah.
Right. And that program is sponsored by and is a partnership with the Department of Interior.
And
The Delta
National
Center
Park
manages the
Services,
Heritage
yeah.
Center.
Yes.
And that is a very important part and has a lot of growth opportunity.
Yes.
And Greenville and all the area around this part of the Delta are involved with that
Yes.
center. So the Delta Center is going to be a huge thing going forward for Delta State. It's going to be the housed operation on campus that has our blues project and manages the heritage area.
Yeah, and it is a beautiful thing. I've been involved with it too, with Luther Brown from the very
Good.
beginning.
Very good.
And I know Mississippi Valley State, and they're at the table, as well as the governor has an appointee sitting there, and all the counties
That's
are
right.
engaged and involved. And
Exactly.
so, again, great opportunity for us to advance all of this cultural heritage and
That's right.
preservation efforts that are underway.
And I can't help but mention the Delta Music Institute, which has been so
Yes.
much a part of all of this. Tricia Walker and her staff do a great job teaching students the entertainment side of the music industry. We were able to take 10 students to the Grammys back in January, and they performed at the Grammy Museum in LA and knocked everybody's socks off. It was wonderful. Some of those kids had never flown before. And these are average Delta students who come from all over the Delta, come up to Delta State and go to the Music Institute. And they are a partner in all these other things. The Blues Project, Grammy, it's all coming together very nicely.
We love Tricia Walker, don't we?
She's great, you bet.
She really
She's a
is.
treasure.
Girl. She truly is.
Absolutely.
So now, whose brainchild was it to build this academic side? Because again, me as an academic myself, that's critical. That's so important.
It's a blend of folks who thought it. I think it's a dream of Luther's over the years that we have faculty members who believed in it. I thought about the concept, and before I was named president, thought about the concept of having an academic center for the blues at Delta State, and thought that we were the rightful place for that. And perhaps it was being away for many years that allowed me to have that perspective, that we're the rightful center for that, to be the Mecca. So there are a lot of great fathers of this invention and mothers of this invention.
Oh, good. So when does it get started?
We're already started.
You are?
We are. We are having the first conference the 6th and 7th of October, and the committee and the task force are meeting now. We've just received a $598,000 grant from the Heron Foundation in Jackson to support us in part for the first 3 years. So we're up and running right now.
Good stuff.
You bet.
Good stuff.
And I want to do a shout out for the Heron Foundation for supporting us.
Yeah. So, we're going to take another break and come back
Okay.
because, see, I was at this conference. It was called Winning the Race.
Yes.
It was a phenomenal, another first. And I sat there and I just was, again, very impressed and very proud of you for being at the helm of this wonderful, wonderful conference. So we're going to take a break, come back and talk about that. You right?
Super.
Okay, cool. So we'll be right back with Bill LaForge. Okay.
Great.
All right. This is the final one.
Super.
So we got to get it all
Another
in.
project we have in addition to the race conference, I instituted a distinguished speakers lecture series. Every university should have one. I don't know why we didn't have it. We had stops and starts. Now we have one that's a year-long program. We bring in at least 5 or 6 a year. And the next one we really want you to come up for. It's going to be on the 23rd of September, and it's a very distinguished jurist, a judge from the United States Federal Court of Federal Appeals. It's a woman named Mary Ellen Williams. She's a good friend of mine.
From D.C.?
From D.C. And she's coming down to do the lecture and then spend time with students in class the next day, including a class I teach, a leadership class.
Oh, you teach too?
I haven't had a chance to last year because I was too busy, but I'm going to teach a leadership seminar this fall. And I just got back from Poland. I taught in Poland in May.
Get on
Went over
down.
there. I
As a
haven't-
visiting scholar?
As a visiting professor. I've been over, we've got, another thing we've done is we've expanded our international
Yeah.
enrollment. And it's a different form of diversity, bringing in international students to see our students from Delta State and have our kids go over there. And so we've signed agreements with universities in Poland, Bulgaria, and Russia. And the exchange program is starting. Russian University is sending 12 people to this academic blues conference this fall.
This is the stuff we should have on TV. We should have that on
Good
the show.
stuff.
Next segment is going to be 8:22.
8,
We ran a little light on that last.
okay,
22 seconds.
22 seconds. Okay,
Okay.
cool.
So whenever you're ready.
All right. Yeah, I was a visiting scholar for University of West Indies.
Oh,
and,
wow.
And again, phenomenal stuff.
Yeah.
That's my retirement plan.
We have
by
a
the way.
woman professor on campus who was one of the co-chairs of the race conference, Paulette Meikle. Do you know Paulette?
I did. I
She's
met her.
from Jamaica.
I met her. Yeah,
She's
and I
terrific.
got a card. I
She's
I
terrific.
haven't talked to her since. But
She has
yeah.
braids that compete with yours.
No.
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready.
Stand by. Opener, coming number 1.
Welcome back. I'm here in the studio talking with Bill LaForge and having a wonderful time exploring all of your great initiatives, the things that are going on the campus for the very first time in history. And one of the more important pieces of work that I have been witness to is that symposium or that conference that you had a couple of months ago where the congressman was there, John Ditter.
Dittmer.
Dittmer was there, who
right.
gave a phenomenal keynote address.
Sure did.
And it's called Winning the Race.
Yes.
And it is about racial relations, and we know where we are here in the Mississippi Delta and the racial issues that have historically plagued this region.
That's right.
And so the work that I saw witnessed on that stage, it was all about coming together and healing what is the obvious elephant in the room
That's right.
issue.
It is.
Talk to us about that.
Delta State, because of where we are, serving the Delta, should be a leader in leading this dialogue. It's an important discussion to have. We are a university that recognizes and celebrates our diversity every day. Some 40% of our enrollment is African American. We have other minority races. 63% of our undergraduate enrollment are women. We are populating our university with international students through exchange programs. We already have about 100 international students there now. We are a melting pot in a sense, and we get along. We get it. So the idea was to have a conference that brings people together to engage in this important dialogue, especially in the Delta, and not leave the elephant unattended in the living room. And it was an incredible dialogue, a lot of great discussion, a lot of opening of dialogue that had never been had before. And that was just the first installment. We'll be doing it again this coming year. And for our efforts, the National Civil Rights Conference presented an award to us back about a month and a half ago, and we were very proud and very humbled to receive that. But it's just the first wave, as I say, and our university is very committed to that. We have a strong diversity program, a strong diversity commitment on campus, and that's going forward, and our faculty and our students and our alumni all came out.
Were they in attendance for that, or how did they?
Yes.
You know, because what is this award? I never.
The award was, the National Civil Rights Conference was held over in Meridian in June and in Philadelphia to commemorate the 50th year
50th?
of the
Yeah.
summer of '64,
Right.
when the tragedy in Neshoba County occurred. And we were surprised with the award that really recognized our conference work on campus. And it was a wonderful way to be distinguished, but we felt like we were in the room with all the giants. Congressman John Lewis was there, one of the real heroes of the movement. Many other original folks who were involved with the Mississippi Summer in '67, many other people. And it was a real honor for us to be there. But for our program, to have Governor William Winter, who was a conciliator, who was a healer, to have John Dittmer, and to have Congressman Benny Thompson was a great first-year three-punch. It was terrific.
Again, I sat there in the audience and witnessed it, and it was, and even the breakout sessions,
Right.
they were just as important and informative as well. You know, and one of the things I took away from it is something that I think everyone should really try harder at is being honest.
Yes.
Okay? I mean, we know what the conditions are, and we know the disparity as it exists, particularly here in the Mississippi Delta, where it sits as the epicenter for a lot of America's pain. And the fact that it has gone for so long unacknowledged, and the fact that, you know, like with the blues, like with the picking of the cotton, like with, you know, so many of the other things that really bother people, you know, how it relates to sharecropping and the whole experience here. To be honest and to have an occasion and a forum to be honest in is what I saw.
I think the catching up historically and making sure that we're all playing on the same even field, that we understand what has happened and we acknowledge it, but it's also a dialogue, Sade, that helps us move to the next step, not sit there and grovel in what has happened from any perspective, but to say, what can we do now? Economic development and poverty and education and nutrition and healthcare are so critical to the Delta, and Delta State wants to be a leader in that, and that's why we foster this dialogue.
Congratulations.
It's an important thing to do. Thank you.
I mean, there's so many things that, you know, I'm looking at, again, with your international scope and vision, and is that going to be your legacy? The fact that you are so global in your thinking, you know, with the blues, but with also the work that you're doing. I understand you just got back from Poland and doing some of that visiting scholarship work.
Right. I've had a chance to teach 4 times in Poland, and as well as a couple of other universities in Eastern Europe and Russia. And that experience and exposure for me were very valuable times for me. And I was also a professor at George Washington University in D.C. when I was working up there for the last 3 decades before I came back to Mississippi. And those experiences exposed me to students from other lands. And I want our students in the Delta and at Delta State to rub elbows with those students from other places to learn, and then to be able to go there themselves and study for 2 weeks, for a semester, for a year, and have these exchanges. So we've set up formal exchanges with universities in Poland, Bulgaria, and in Russia. And our first wave is coming this fall, and we're sending a wave of our students next spring. So it's already started.
Are you an alum from Delta State?
I did 4 great years as an undergraduate at Delta State.
Yeah. What was your major?
I majored in history, minored in philosophy, and I was president of the student body when I was there.
Oh, okay.
So I got to be president of students, and now I'm president of the whole university. Pretty lucky.
That was pretty cool. And your father, let's talk about it. He was a professor.
Wonderful
there as well,
legacy.
right?
I grew up in a household of great education and social justice and fairness, and my father was a distinguished history professor there for years and the dean of the College of Arts and Sciences.
Oh, great.
And left us a wonderful legacy at the university and certainly with our family.
So now, your legacy will be what?
I have no idea. No clue. He gave it his best.
In terms of you, though, what you hope will be your legacy at Delta State?
I would like for Delta State to be known in the years ahead as a public regional university in Mississippi, but one of national distinction.
And you're well on your way.
I hope so.
So I applaud you for all that you're doing there. The cultural work that's going on is very significant, and the partners that you have in place. And again, you know, if you wanted to do some quick shout outs to some of those folks, because I know that you also just had a forum with the mayors, you know, where you're just bringing everyone together. It's huge, and I hope you're proud of yourself.
Well,
but it is so critical, the work that I see you're doing. So again,
I'm a student of leadership, and I'm cast in a leadership role, and I'm about to teach a seminar this fall to students, so I hope that the experience can prove something.
Yeah.
We have a great team.
Yeah.
Our cabinet is going into a retreat. I'm calling it an advance because we're going forward, not backward.
Yeah.
We're not retreating, we're going forward. Tomorrow and Thursday, we're going to be in a retreat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Will LaForge, Delta State University.
Thank you very much, Sade.
Thank you all for joining us this week here on Delta Renaissance, and I will see you next week.